Okay. Trump immunity case heats up. Can he kill? And more drama. News. High intensity reacts. Get in now. All right, that's a good one. The idea would never bomb the Hasidic terror tunnels. And they're not the Hasidic terror tunnels. You mentioned you get regular death threats. I work in mental health care and get regular death threats, but recently got some very specific ones. And I wonder how you cope/deal with them. Wait, you're working in mental health care and you're asking me how to give you advice on how to deal with death threats? What the fuck is going on? Brother, you're supposed to help me. No? Isn't that how that works? Do you think you'll ever blast off anywhere else? Will Twitter ever actually die? Yes, there's a high likelihood that Twitter might die, especially if Elon Musk does stuff like he did yesterday, like last night, which we'll talk about as well. Twitter unbans leftists, critics of Israel, plus Bill Ackman. But anyway, as far as helping you out, chatter, with the death threats is, I guess this is a kind of dumb thing to say, but like none of them are real. Okay? None of them are real. Like, most people, think about it this way. Okay? Here's what I have to tell you about death threats. So, most people that issue a death threat online is like very rarely ever leaving their homes. Okay? It's like the most agoraphobic type of person who's like severely mentally ill, that is deeply sad and is like if they were going outside and touching grass, which is like required to kill you, right? If they were going outside and touching grass, then like magically they would no longer want to do a death threat. So some of them are definitely real. Lol. I just had a participant fuck up a staff and broke their occipital lobe. Yes. Okay, well, that depends. Are you getting the death threats directly from people who you are in the immediate vicinity of? That's usually my mentality is like, even if they are real, actionable death threats, I'm going to act like they're not real because I don't want it to fuck my day up. So I just kind of avoid thinking about it. I don't want to talk about it any further without revealing stuff, but I'll just say that what the fuck? This is some chatter saw this ancient copy pasta and got very upset. Please open this dude's chat because what in the fuck? This is a copy pasta chatter. Hello, Hassan. I'm an inconspicuous follower here and I've been watching you for some time. I've been a psychologist for about 5 years specializing in mental disabilities. You're currently in the middle phase. Like, you read this and you thought this was a good copy pasta chatter that freaked out over this? Like, you read this copy pasta and you thought this was a serious guy? I mean, he said middle phase. Like, what psychologist? First of all, he's not even saying he's a psychiatrist, he's saying he's a psychologist. So the person who wrote this doesn't even understand the distinction. That's number one. Number two, okay, I guess like psychologists specializing in mental disability is one thing. But the middle phase? What do you think the middle phase would be? The middle phase. I'm a psychologist and you're in the middle phase. It's a very real problem. The middle phase of your mental illness. I am the German psychologist. It's a phase in the middle. It's famous. If you're not a psychologist, please don't comment on middle phases. Yeah. Anyway, as far as death threats goes, okay, the one thing you can do is prepare yourself against possible stuff like that. You know what I mean? But more importantly than anything else, what I would suggest is not really thinking about it. Because the reality is, if it happens, it happens, and GG's. And if it doesn't happen, then it's better not to think about it. That's my unironic advice for death threats, for as someone who is a recipient of many every single day. And you know, that's my very real advice. Now, obviously, I'm not, unlike you, I'm not a mental health professional. So maybe this advice isn't good. Maybe it's not sound. I don't know. But for me, in particular, that's what I do. I don't think about it. I don't talk about it. I usually just don't have it in my mind at any given point because I don't want to bring the vibes down. You know what I mean? I don't want to bring the vibes down. I like the vibes when I'm not thinking about it. And if I were to be thinking about it regularly, I wouldn't like the vibes at all. Not everyone's a 6'5" hunk like you. Well, that's the other thing. It's like, what am I supposed to do as a 6'5" guy? Do you think being 6'5" allows you to be bulletproof? No. Anyway, typical unmedicated middle phaser waving a firearm like a maniac. Yeah. That's also another common aspect of being in the middle phase of mental illness. All right, anyway, blast off, everybody. When Hassan asks a question, someone in chat has to answer. It's the law. Yeah. Well, or more so, when I say something, chat has to, at least half of chat has to be contentious, even if they have been a ride or die supporter of that same principle in perpetuity. Like, you could have like, I don't know, Jets fans in here, and I'd say something nice about the Jets, and they'd turn on their own team. And they'd be like, you're actually so wrong about the Jets. Jets is, they're awful. You should have done an East German RP. Being a Jets fan is in the middle phase. Being a Jets fan is in the final phase of being the worst kind of mentally ill, like the bad kind, not even the cool kind. I don't know what I'm saying. All right. Where were we? Oh, Scoop, Rumble Inc., by the way, which bills itself as a free speech alternative to YouTube, is home. The show's hosted by Donald Trump Jr. and Steven Crowder, is the subject of Security and Exchange Commission investigation. Uh-oh. Joe Brandon coming after brave right-wing entrepreneurs again, dude. From Chabadnik group chats. Okay, he's memeing. That's an ancient. Dude, everyone's having so much fun with this because we have a limited bandwidth to be able to make fun of the what is it? What's the term? What's the appropriate term? I don't know if it's like Hasidic, is it Haredi? Is it Orthodox? Hasidic? Yeah. We have a very limited time frame to make fun of the Hasidic tunnels before all the anti-Semites get to it, and then you can no longer say it without, like, you know, people unironically being like, ooh, what's going on there? And I feel like because it's Chabad, yeah, I feel like because Twitter is so intensely anti-Semitic that, like, you can't have any fun. You just can't. You can't have any fun whatsoever. What is this? Hollaback boy. Today we released the raw footage of a military-themed European incursion. Oh my God, dude, please. Okay. I'm gonna start off with the Hasidic tunnel memes because it has occupied an inappropriate space in my mind since I saw it. Okay? The anti-Semites have gotten to it. There are Twitter posts saying these are child trafficking tunnels. Child trafficking tunnels. Wait. What the fuck? From TikTok deleted all the posts? Stop. What is happening? Or did they... No, that's crazy. Does anyone have the video? Does anyone have the juice? Please give it to me. I need to watch it, and I need to cherish it, and I need to share it with you. That sucks, dude. No. You gotta have this. Okay, TrueAnon posted this one. No, I need all of it. I need all of it. Oh no, this is just no, I need the videos. Oh, they have the videos. Oh, thank God. Okay. Okay, let's get started. So, um, so earlier yesterday, the NYPD get a call. Okay. Apparently, they get a call because there is I guess like there's some stuff happening inside of one of the wonderful Hasidic communities in New York that wait, what? See, bro, this is what I mean. Like, this is a Nazi. Bro, what the fuck is this? Like, this dude is a straight up Nazi. Oh God, gross. 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 Ew, 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 ew. Let me explain something to you. Okay? Oh God, immediately these fucking pieces of shit are just like, oh, these guys are rats. Ugh, gross. The real rat is the motherfucker who posts shit like that, okay? So the state found out about these tunnels like 6 months ago and said they were gonna shut them down. So there's like a couple different things that I've heard. There's a couple different things that I've heard about like what they're for. One of the original speculations was that it was created specifically to sneak into the Chabad, right? To sneak into the Chabad while COVID restrictions were happening. So that was number one. And if you recall, this was a big deal in 2020. Like Jonah Kornblue, who now loves posting about the most Zionist stuff, was like the original Orthodox Jewish journalist that was investigating and kind of like leaking how much the Orthodox Jewish community in New York was refusing to, one, vaccinate themselves and also participate in the lockdowns, right? So I think like originally they built the tunnels so they could sneak in there. But then the other thing I found out is that like they actually were just like kind of illegally building the tunnels. I heard somewhere that they were saying that it was built 6 months ago only, right? So that doesn't work with the COVID tunnel situation. But here, let's just read this article. The iconic wooden panels in the main shul of the 770 Eastern Parkway were torn off by aggressive bochurim on Monday in response to a cement truck being ordered to seal off their unsanctioned tunnel. Chaos ensued in the main shul of the 770 Eastern Parkway in Crown Heights on Monday afternoon, disrupting the davening and learning that take place there around the clock. Okay? The trigger, a cement truck. Is this the davening? Is that, I don't know how to say it, but this is the Talmud thing, right? Like you're supposed to, you don't read the Talmud, but you like learn it, right? Is that what it is? The davening? Is that what they're talking about? Or is this a different thing? Or is it just like praying? Like you're not, okay, davening is basically just praying. Okay, and learning. So the trigger was a cement truck. The truck showed up on Union Street behind Lubavitch World Headquarters with the apparent assignment to fill up an underground tunnel that ran from the main shul to the now closed mikveh building next door. Okay. Bochurim, mostly from Israel and wearing the masochist yarmulkes and pins, responded with fury. They have been reportedly behind the digging of the tunnel, claiming it was to expand 770, visited by residents and visitors on a daily basis. They proceeded to tear down the iconic wooden panels that wrapped the walls of the main shul. Then they tore down the wooden beams that used what appeared to be a hammer to break the shul's brick wall. The result is a very visible opening from the main shul to the tunnel. Officers of the NYPD were seen entering 770 to survey the developments, but have not made arrests. The main shul of 770 has long been subject to a legal dispute between the Agudas Hasidei Chabad and the Marcos Linyonai Chinuk and Kong, Lubavitch Inc. over who is the rightful owner of the 770, 788 Eastern Parkway complex. Bochurim have long had free reign of the main shul, even violently barring some from entering. Update, the shul was closed after the Gaboim and Merkos both agreed to ask the NYPD to shut the shul due to immediate danger. I think they tore it down because they like wanted to sit in it as like protest. That's what I got. That's what I understood from the story. But maybe I'm wrong. My point is this. Okay, here's what I think. I think fellas should be allowed to build a little bit of a tunnel. I think ladies should be allowed to build a little bit of a tunnel. Okay, now some tunnels are made for bad reasons. I don't know if these tunnels were made for bad reasons or good reasons. Good reasons could be tunnels are cool, or camaraderie. Okay, digging is a fun activity to engage in. These are all very good reasons as to why you can build tunnels, okay? Like, one of my favorite YouTubers started off building a tunnel under his house in England and then basically created, like, an entire city, like a mole city underneath his house. What was the guy's name? He's the guy I showed Murat, and Murat loves him too. Colin Furs, exactly. Based and we're very dwarf-pilled. I think it's cool. I think it's cool to build tunnels. I would like to purchase an Alibaba tunnel machine for $500,000, please, so I could build a tunnel on the side of a mountain. Yes, I am very dwarf-pilled. I think it's sick. I obviously, although being built like an orc, I still very much think it's sick to build tunnels. I think it's cool. I think it's cool when Hamas does it. I think it's cool when the cartel does it. I'm an equal opportunity tunnel guy, okay? And I think it's certainly cool when these guys did it too, okay? Tunnel under his house so he looks like a socialist, but his mansion underground so no one knows about. Yes. It's suspicious that being underground is the perfect temperature for humans to live. That's what I mean. Yes, the tunneling equipment that you're... Wait, where is this coming from? Uh-oh. This is not a joke. This is very much real. Guys, all I'm going to say is, I think I should buy this. This is a rock tunnel boring machine, DG 2200 pipe jacking machine. Unfortunately, there are no reviews on it yet, but it does seem very legitimate. I think one of the major issues is I don't know where to put it. But for the relatively affordable price of $120,000 to $600,000, I could get my very own model number DG2200QNP rock tunnel boring machine, and I can even get a 30 kilowatt foreset if I would like. Now, one of the main problems, of course, is that the instruction manual and the buttons on it are in Mandarin. And I don't know Chinese. I don't know how to read Mandarin. So that is probably one of the bigger hurdles here. Another hurdle for me, of course, is how big this is. And then another hurdle is how do I power this bad boy? So I feel like if I buy this, it should come with like my very own Chinese engineer. Okay? And like, it's not like you have to ship a Chinese engineer to help with the tunnel. You could just simply do like an American exchange program. I could go to UC Irvine, for example. And then, from there, I could hire someone specifically with the tunnel equipment, though. Like it's like a program that comes along with literal jobs. Okay? Think about that. This would literally, I am merging the two warring nations, okay? With my tunnel building initiative. We will do soft power between two countries. We will do diplomacy between two countries. We will build jobs. Okay? with my Alibaba rock tunnel boring machine plan, we will be able to bring LA a subway system, okay? An actual subway system by tapping in to the heart and soul of every single citizen globally. Every single man, woman, and child that wants to create tunnels will be able to get to do that with this boring tunnel machine. This way, we can all basically create a Los Angeles subway system underneath our houses, underneath our apartments, wherever we feel like it. And then we connect all the tunnels to one another. We get public transit in Los Angeles. Everybody is super happy because they get to build tunnels. And we do it with Chinese engineers because absolutely no one knows how to speak Chinese, Mandarin, whatever, in order to use the boring tunnel, the boring tunnel machines, right? This way, everyone gets to, like, forcibly, I guess, due to their genuine interest in building tunnels, be able to hang out with a Chinese person and will no longer be afraid. Xenophobia combated, xenophobia defeated, okay? Taiwan reunification 2024, we got it all. A chicken for every pot politics, but it's a tunnel for every home. Yes. Notice how they call it a rock tunnel boring machine, when in fact, tunnels are very fun to build. It's a way that the Chinese mind has decided to get the white monkeys off the taste, okay? They're like, we know if those white monkeys learned about how fun tunnel making is, they would be constantly making tunnels. They would maybe even get high-speed rail, okay? Which is why let's call it boring. I know. Flying so close to the sun here. Chat doesn't know. No, I'm joking. Big tunnel is behind this? Yes. If they called it the Rock Tunnel Fun Machine, this thing would be flying off the shelves. Everyone would be buying them. And everyone would be building their own tunnel systems. The correct pejorative is white devil. Okay. Sorry. White devil. Emma says, I'll buy one, but it's orange. It doesn't match anything. Guess what it will match? Your fucking sick-ass tunnel. Very cool. Thank you, China, for selling this machine, which seems weirdly inappropriate to have on this website. They even put the Mercy logo, bro. They got the Mercedes-Benz logo on it. I think. The Merc. Is shipping free? I don't know. I also don't understand how, like, what the logistics surrounding this is. Anyway, let's get back to the shul in New York. Let's get back to the Hasidic community's very own tunnels. Now, of course, the Hasidic community did not take advantage of the Chinese boring tunnel machine. I think it seems like they hastily made their own tunnel system without one. So, kind of an L there for those guys. But hey, let's take a look at the chaos that ensued when the New York Police Department found out about these illegal secret tunnels, which are, of course, very dangerous, by the way. That's like the major reason why. That's like, I would suspect, one of the biggest reasons as to why you can't kind of tunnel underneath. You can't tunnel underneath, buildings in New York for good reason. Felix says, this is one of the funniest things I've ever seen. In real time, you can see the cop wonder why his life has taken him here to be the one of the assigned officers of the weird Jewish tunnel that nobody will explain. This part almost knocked me out of my chair. Imagine you're a beat cop 5 hours into your shift and suddenly you have to figure out how many Jewish guys are wall hacking in real life and they're screaming at you that they deserve a tunnel. Eye on the ball right here. They haven't filled it in yet. Go get your tunnel time while the getting is good. This is by far the most favorable president NYPD has had in many years. This is one of those things where I empathize with them. Like, they're lost for words. How do you even say here, can you guys stop doing your weird tunnel? What is this? Android phones that remain? Okay. Oh, it's such a funny dude. All of the videos from this are so fucking funny. Like the not the chaos inside, which is funny for a different reason, but like this, the most Italian cop of all time, having to, for the first time ever, like have this very weird conversation that he never thought he would have to have in his entire career.
They know. I don't know. They know. Because there was a guy wanting to go out. They know. There was a guy wanting to go out. It says no already. I want to clear the whole shoe out.
He says, I want to clear the whole shoe out. Hey, what are you doing? I want to clear the whole shoe out. That's what I'm going to do.
Oh, shoe? Why is that?
They want to fix this tonight.
They want to fix this tonight.
They need the shoe cleared.
And to... Why? We need to expensive something.
Not like this. Not safe.
He goes, are you from Russia?
We don't do that in America.
Like, what in his mind led him to think, like, this has got to be some Russian thing, am I right? Like, what the fuck are these guys doing? What are you fucking doing? You got a fucking tunnel over here. You can't be putting a fucking tunnel over here. It's a goddamn shul. No. He goes, are you from Russia? And then the guy goes, I think the guy said Israel. Oh, he says, are you from Israel? Oh, never mind. He didn't even say, are you from Russia? He said Israel. Okay, that makes it even funnier. Oh my God. I thought he said, are you from Russia? He said, are you from Israel? Like, he's associating tunnels with Israel. I assume because of all the Hamas stuff that he's read. In his mind, he's like, yeah, Hamas, Israel, you know, that sort of thing. You guys fucking building tunnels or what? You can't be doing the tunnel thing here, all right? This ain't Gaza. We don't got that. You can have the hummus, but you can't have the fucking tunnels, dog. Or he's conflating Jews with Israel because of Zionism. Brother, at this point, like the dudes he's talking to have accents, okay? He doesn't know where the fuck they're from. I'm canceling the NYPD lieutenant for doing a microaggression at the Chabad. It's just every part of this story is so funny, dude. It's like you brought together like the funniest group of individuals that could ever clash with one another over such a New York City style story. I'm just waiting. Like the cherry on the top, the icing and the cherry on the top is when, obviously, inevitably, Eric Adams is going to come out and be like, this is allowed. Like, we're building even more tunnels. Like, he's going to be like, I'm taking more of the money from the libraries so we can specifically build these tunnels. And no, they do not have to have the proper authorization or the load-bearing structures built inside of them. It's okay. Yeah, and then somehow tie it to 9/11. The more tunnels we have, the less 9/11s we have. New York, city of dreams. Oh, it's so good.
We don't do that in America.
We don't do that in America. Hey, what are you, from Israel? I heard a lot about the tunnels you guys got over there. We don't do that in America. It's so good. It's so fucking, dude, I'm telling you, this video, like his hair, like how big of a beefy boy he is in that fucking vest, like every part of this is so good.
Do they know?
I don't know. Because there was a guy wanting to go out.
They know.
I assume, is he the comms guy? Is he the liaison officer? Because I think like there are parts of New York where where the Hasidic communities are, like they have like liaison officers. They have like different. NYPD has like a different division.
It's safe, no.
Already. I want to clear the whole shoe line.
Oh, shoot. Why?
They want to fix this tonight. They need the shoe clear.
And to
So good. There's a yearly discovery of insane shit Hasidics in New York City are doing. Years before there was kids in Hasidic school that literally can't speak English. Yes, that was that was another banger when when we found out that the Hasidic community in New York in the schooling system that they'd created literally had like, what was it? It was like a New York Times. There was a New York Times article that like did a deep dive into the Hasidic community in New York and how like the kids literally didn't know how to read. Like they were not literate and couldn't speak English and were like learning stuff in like a 3rd grade level or something. They were maxing out at like 3rd grade level. Your mic is considerably lower than any audio on your computer. Will be the death of my ears. I will sue. Okay, well, I'm sorry. Let's take a look at this. Bro, this is like a Grand Theft Auto No Pixels story, dude. What is happening? Get him out of there. Get him out of there. They're having too much fucking fun. See? NYPD anti-fun. They don't want you to have a tunnel, dude. Fellas, everyone needs a tunnel. Okay? Like what could possibly be going on? What could possibly be going on in the situation where they're just like, remember when someone made this? Yes! Oh my God, dude. Dude, a lot of people were just they were right. A lot of people were saying stuff. My friend Tova sent me this video of what the tunnels were supposed to look like. Let me fail. Why is it? It's like Doom. Like, I can't tell. This only raises more questions. Is the tunnel religiously significant? Why are they rendering in the Quake 1 engine? Like, I don't understand it. I don't understand why, like, this song is literally about building a tunnel. Stop. There is no fucking way there is a real song specifically about building a tunnel. I think, and I say this with all sincerity, I love Hasidic Jews. Like, they're so awesome. It's just like so strange to be like living in 16th century style formations in 2024, literally in the middle of like one of the most modern metropolitan cities on the fucking planet. Like, the Amish are like, yeah, we're going to fuck off to like, you know, Pennsylvania in an area where like nobody lives, right? These guys are like, no, actually, we're going to do 16th century shit directly in the fucking heart of New York City, which I think is awesome. And they should be allowed to do it, and they should keep doing it. They should be doing it extra hard. Whatever they're doing, more power to them, okay? It's so sick. It's so awesome. It's so ridiculous. Okay? At least I caught this now before all this shit turned to a massive sinkhole and killed hundreds of people. All I'm saying is I believe in the excellence, okay? I don't think that these tunnels would have been bad. This man must have thought he had anti-Semitic hallucinations. Yes. Oh, dude, this is the funniest thing. Okay, I saw this morning. This guy, I swear I keep hearing Yiddish under the floor of my New York apartment. I live at ground level and we have no basement. This guy said on December 11, 2023, I am not crazy. He tweeted out, there are Jews living under my apartment. I hear them. It's like they're digging or something. For the record, I live at ground level and we do not have a basement. November 7th, 2023. This guy, in his mind, was thinking like, oh, I must be, like, I'm probably anti-Semitic or something. I don't know what the fuck's going on. Dude, we are 9 days into 2024. Why is so much insane shit happening? He tweeted out, some of you owe me an apology. Yeah, this insane woman is like the best as well. She's also building a tunnel and LARPing as an actual engineer, but she's just like a software engineer. That actual guy is anti-Semitic. This was fake. Oh, god damn it. Fellas, is it anti-Semitism to check his account? Oh no. I was about to say he has the phenotype of like a Richard Spencer looking motherfucker. Like this dude looks like a Nick Fuentes fan. See, no fun. No fun. Fun is canceled. Can't have fun. I just looked up where they had the tunnels. It makes no sense. They shut the tunnel lady down. Yeah, I saw this tweet. It was really funny. Imagine seeing a Jewish guy crawl out from under a secret sewer tunnel in New York City, not having a phone to record it, and trying to tell people without sounding like the most anti-Semitic person alive. And the thing is, if you see the original video, and I have to show you the original video, because like a lot of this chaos is kind of funny, but that video of the dude coming out of the tunnel and then like running away and trying to push away the camera is living in my mind permanently. Okay? Like, it's just so good. It's so perfect, dude. Look at this. This is kind of stupid, but hey, you can't be building secret tunnels underneath your fucking temple. All right, we don't do that in the Empire. Yeah, a lot of things are playing out in identical historical ways as well. This is another like weird thing that is happening that is like history is repeating itself in very weird ways. Hold on, let me see if I can find I want to find that specific. We're going to talk more about the tunnels, but I want to find the specific one where the dude's pulling out, where the dude's like running out of the tunnel, cuz it's so good. God. What a silly story. Let's see if they have it in here. No, they don't have it in here. Fuck. No, the account deleted all of their fucking goated ass posts, dude. It sucks. Yeah, they deleted the original From TikTok account, deleted it. Which is like so. Oh, this is it. Okay, this music makes it. That's the video that I was talking about. I don't know why they put this like Sigma grind set music over it. What is going on? Why? Why does this have Sigma grind set music in the background?
Not gonna help. They tried to. We could. Probably both sides have to work.
Fucked up. It's fucked up what they're doing to these boys, okay? Boys being boys, you know what I'm saying? That's so fucked up. It's so fucked up. Oh, you found the full video. Okay, that by the way, this is my favorite video, dude. This video, this is my favorite video of all time. The way he pushes the camera and just starts running. Why did he do that? I guess there's no way to get out of that tunnel and just be normal about it. You can't just be like, excuse me. Can you stop filming me, please? It's a perfect one human-sized hole on the tunnel. Oh God. Oh my God. Oh fuck, dude. It's so good. It's such a good story. Oh. It's like, dude, by the way, there's every group. It doesn't matter who was building this tunnel. It would still be funny. I just want to point this out really quickly, okay? Before people go, oh my God, like, oh, is it because they're Jewish? Like, no, dude, the idea that you got like a group of individuals that are just like living in a totally different century, okay? In the heart of New York City. And only a group like this would be able to pull off a feat like this. It's like if the Amish lived in New York. You know what I mean? If they just lived in the heart of New York, okay? Only they are industrious enough to be able to like build shit like this. They got a lot of free time. I still don't fully understand why, like, I still don't fully understand why they chose to break it down like this, but I think it was because they wanted to go in. Wait, this is how Israel War Room says, this is how anti-Semitism works. A story of a simple building code violation becomes a stereotypic conspiracy of ridiculous proportion. I mean, listen, this guy is most likely anti-Semitic, okay? Like the people that are tweeting about this and being like, "Oh, Jews, like what are they hiding in their children?" Like those guys are anti-Semitic. But to say that this is a simple building code violation is insane. Okay? Like this is not just a simple building code violation, dog. What the fuck are you talking about? This is funny and is also there's historic precedent for this being funny, especially considering that we did talk about the engineering woman who's been pulling these shenanigans as well on TikTok specifically, the engineer everything woman. Chat, can someone please explain what's happening? I joined mid-laugh at the guy climbing out of the street. They found a tunnel in one of the Hasidic communities like Chabad houses. And New York City was like, we want to, obviously, this is like very dangerous. We want to fill this tunnel up with a cement truck. And then some of the dudes in the community, I guess, were like on board. The treasurer at the shul is the one that called the city to fill in the tunnel, but why did the guys who dug the tunnel start tearing apart the shul, lol? Why are there so many of them in the walls? This report on the shul tunnel incident is the funniest thing I've ever read. Bochurim, mostly from Israel and wearing Mesichist yarmulkes and pins, responded with fury. We read this earlier. They've been reportedly behind digging of the tunnel, claiming it was to expand the 770 visited by residents and visitors on a daily basis. So they wanted to illegally expand the Chabad house. And then like one of the splinter groups within the Hasidic community decided like, no, this is our tunnel. Like, don't touch our tunnel. So then they started ripping off the fucking walls of the shul, which is like a holy place. You're not supposed to do that. And apparently it's the treasurer at the shul that was the one who called the city to fill in the tunnel. But why did the guys who dug the tunnel start tearing apart the shul? Why are there so many of them in the walls? The Moshiachis here in the tunnels are being revealed. Moshiach time. Oh, it's the Messiah. Oh my God. This is unbelievable. We all know that the tunnels were made under Beis Hamikdash by its builders and will be revealed when it is to be rebuilt. The Beis Rabbeinu Shebovel, which is the version of the Beis Hamikdash, while in Golus obviously had the same made, Messiah is here and these tunnels are being revealed. This is cause for great celebration. Huge possibility the tunnel was to have gay sex and smoke weed in. Tobias King MMA. The whole tunnel thing is just one aspect of a power struggle within the Chabad. Since their Rebbe died, conservative factions are fighting with more messianic factions who believe the Rebbe is still alive and the Messiah over the properties and shuls, etc. That's awesome. That's sick. I love the power struggle happening within the Hasidic community. And like for us to try and comprehend it from the outside is like virtually impossible. More religions should do wacky, fun stuff like this. I'd be into it. That's what I'm saying, dude. Dude, look, listen. Am I the only one who's extremely confused? No, if you've never been to New York, or if you're unfamiliar with like how the Hasidic community operates, okay, there's factions within the Hasidic community. I've shown you some of the different Orthodox Jewish communities before. Like you have the Neterai Karta, you have some who are who believe that like the Messiah is going to come back. I don't know like what the distinctions are. There's like a lot of different branches, okay? But in the most reductive ways possible, let me explain it to you. The overwhelming majority of American Jews are Reform Jews, right? They're like a lot of the people that you see in big cities that are, you know, Christian, but not really, right? So that's the overwhelming majority of Jews, both in America and just globally in general. Overwhelming amount of Jews in Israel are Reform Jews. Overwhelming amount of Jews in America are Reform Jews. And they don't really give a shit, right? They just like kind of do some of the stuff in the religion. They're very progressive for the most part. And then you have a specific subsect. Yes, secular Larry David types. Exactly. So that's one thing. Judaism is also not just a religion, but an ethno-religion as well. So there's like different sects, like, you know, obviously you have Sephardi, Mizrahi, Ashkenazi Jews from different parts of the world, like Jews that live in different parts of the world. But then you have the Orthodox Jews, okay? And the Orthodox Jewish community also ranges from like the Ben Shapiro types all the way to like super fundamentalist, ultra Orthodox Jews under different sects like the Hasidic Jews. And I know that there's some Jewish chatters in here who know even better than me. That can clarify if I've gotten anything wrong. But as far as like the ultra Orthodox Hasidic Jewish community, okay, imagine if you had, like I said, Amish people with no technological restrictions except on Saturday, Okay? But there's also cheat codes around that regardless within the religion. But imagine if you had Amish people, like, I'm talking like we want to live in the 15th century type motherfuckers, okay? Living in the middle of New York City, okay? It's reductive, but there's no other way to describe it other than like, it's like if you had Amish people living in New York, okay, and had their own community in New York, and had their own schooling system in New York, had their own police system, had their own social amenities and social services, okay? And they just kind of chill. And like it's not like they are not allowed to touch technology or anything like that. They do everything, right? As a matter of fact, they even sell a lot of technology, like what is it, B&H or whatever, like. So you have, with the exception of Saturdays, like if you go to, for example, if you go to like Jewish hospitals in New York, if you go to a hospital on Saturday, it stops. The elevator will stop at every floor. That is specifically so that the Jewish patients and family members don't have to touch the buttons. Okay? So it's stuff like that. Yes, Lakewood, New Jersey is another place as well. That's how you know that commenter is not an actual Hasidic Jew. December 23rd, 2023, 8:03. It was a Saturday morning during Shabbat. Wait, who? Which commenter? Ultra-Orthodox and Hasidic are like umbrella terms that include Chabad, Satmar, etc. Satmar Hasidim are the ones who are anti-Zionist, by the way. Yeah. So there's a lot of like weird, fascinating stuff that they do. Mount Sinai has those elevators, yeah. So there's a lot of, literally right next to me on screen. Wait, who? TrueAnon? What are you talking about? I'm confused. Anyway, B&H Camera, Adorama, and Focus Camera all sell electronics. They're owned by Orthodox/Hasidic Jews. So overall, they just like kind of keep to themselves. Oh, the screenshot. Oh, this guy is fake. Oh, because he... Oh, I got it. Well, yeah, December 23rd. Does that fall on a Saturday at 8:03 a.m.? Unless they're dictating their tweets. Because, like, for Orthodox Jews, they have... on Saturdays, they're not supposed to touch technology. Okay? And so there's a workaround. It's very interesting. So, like, there's always, like, a cheat code around it, right? And the workaround for Orthodox Jews on Saturdays is they hire somebody. They hire somebody to do the stuff for them, like, you know, touch the electronics and all this other shit. And there's, like, additional accommodations made as well, but that's one of them. Shabbat begins on Friday nights and ends on Saturday night. Yeah. It's like soaking. Yes, Judaism, or rather Mormonism, is the closest to Judaism as far as, like, according to Felix, as far as, like, creating ridiculous rules that you can also find cheat codes around. Like, Mormonism is the closest, like, Christianity gets to loopholes. You've seen this, like, right? No, I have not. But we can watch it. Imagine you're out there doing anti-conspiracy education, then a video emerges of a Hasidic guy crawling out from a secret network of Jewish tunnels under New York. I mean, obviously this has nothing to do with, I mean, I don't know if I have to repeat this, but this has nothing to do with Jewish people at all. And it's like a very specific group. It's like thinking all Jews are like the Westboro Baptist Church, or like the snake charmer, like I am delivered type Christians. You know what I mean? It's like looking at Christianity as a whole and thinking like, oh no, it's all about, you know, getting bit by snakes and shit. It's not. It's just Pentecostals, right? Or like Westboro Baptist Church is like a specific sect. Joseph Smith literally went to all synagogues and the Catholic churches and just kind of threw all that shit together to write the Book of Mormon. Even Mormons in their history talk about Joseph exploring religions and he just jacked that shit. Yeah. There's also apparently a fishing line. A fishing line encircles Manhattan, protecting the sanctity of Sabbath. A clear fishing wire is tied around the island of Manhattan. It's attached to posts around the perimeter of the city from 1st Street to 126th. This string is a part of an eruv, a Jewish symbolic enclosure. Most people walking on the streets of Manhattan do not notice it at all, but many observant Jews in Manhattan rely on the string to leave the house on Sabbath. The concept of eruv was first established almost 2,000 years ago to allow Jews to more realistically follow the laws of Sabbath rest, particularly one, no carrying on the Sabbath. According to the laws of the Sabbath rest, nothing can be carried from the domestic zone into the public zone on Saturday. That means no carrying house keys or a wallet. It also means no pushing a baby stroller. For parents of young children, no carrying would mean not leaving the house on Saturday. The eruv symbolically extends the domestic zone into the public zone. Like, this is a cheat code. Okay? It's straight up. It's so funny. Like, oh no, the entirety of Manhattan is my house, actually. Like... It's dope. It's so, I love shit like this. Like most people will look at something like this, and even if it doesn't like inconvenience them at all, be like, oh, why does this exist? Like it's fucking bullshit. And it's like, no, man. I think it's fire. I think it's ridiculous, and it's awesome. Let people have fun. As long as it doesn't harm anybody. You know what I mean? What, better that than being terrorists? That's a good loophole. Islam also has loopholes. Muhammad jacked everything. Better that than being terrorists? What do you mean? Like what? This is what I'm talking about. Like who said anything about terror? Whose religion is like you have to do terror and terrorism? I wonder what that chatter is talking about. Imagine a whole day cooped up in Manhattan apartment with a toddler and no electricity. You might as well be going a little bonkers because your apartment's so small, says Dina Man. But you don't realize it's so small until you're stuck there and you can't go anywhere. Man lives on Manhattan's Upper West Side with her husband and 2 young children. They observe Sabbath rest, including refraining from carrying. She says, if you're really, really, really strict, then you should not even pick up your child. Okay? That was interesting. Did a video about The Wire. Man and many others rely on the eruv every Saturday to leave the apartment with their children. Luckily, Manhattan's eruv has never been down. Rabbi Mintz, co-president of Manhattan Eruv, says, it has never been down for a Sabbath. Never. We always save it at the last minute. Mintz noted that the Macy's Thanksgiving Day Parade is a particularly trying time. when the parade sometimes ends up fucking cutting the wire. Is that what it is? Oh. That's awesome. I have 3 under 3, and I can imagine going a day without picking up any of my kids. How would you even do that? Okay, we'll do the really eye-opening look into entering America's most religious community.
Hasidic Jews of Brooklyn, New York are the most religious and closed-off community in America. What is Hasidism to you?
So it's a very vibrant community, 2nd and 3rd generation post-Holocaust.
Arguably one of the most fundamental religions, period, on the planet.
This community is a wonderful community because there's a lot of nice people here.
The whole system of how we relate
This guy's a YouTuber.
to God and how we interact with God.
This shit's cool as fuck. The block thing that you put on your head, and then the leather thing, the leather wrap on the arm, those look dope. You look like a legionnaire, which I feel like is inappropriate to say, but it does look kind of sick.
I'm about to walk into an exclusive synagogue here, and I'm pretty nervous. Wow. The stakes are very high for outsiders to be here, but I'm about to cross into this controversial bubble to discover the untold truth, which will leave you speechless.
Can you not record this part?
Okay, it's gonna be a disaster with cameras, but we're gonna try.
Excuse me, I'm in a rush. I have an appointment.
I never thought I would feel intimidated by my own religion. There's security everywhere now in this neighborhood. Pretty intense street, very, very religious. Everybody on their flip phones because they don't use internet. 100% of the women over 18 years old are wearing wigs. What are you supposed to think or believe in this moment?
So that's a really good question.
Growing up Jewish, I've always enjoyed connecting with other Jews around the world, like I've done in Ethiopia, Afghanistan, the Philippines, and Yemen. I consider myself very lucky to be part of a religion that has only 15 million members, but has such a profound impact on global society. That being said, I've always been extra curious about the Hasidic Jews of New York because they seem to be different both physically and mentally from the rest of us. The Hasidism movement started just 250 years ago in Ukraine and spread to the United States right after the Holocaust. The way that Hasidic Jews dress themselves and curate their lifestyles will leave you stunned, from their big furry hats and long beards to their lack of using the internet and smartphones. Their strong commitment to family, tradition, and strict Jewish law is remarkable.
Yeah, he spoke to Zebulon in Afghanistan too, I think.
But let's back up a bit. Not all
one of my favorite Jewish people of all time is the remaining Jew in Afghanistan who just like specifically refused to leave Afghanistan. Like, I don't give a fuck. You're never getting me out of here. Like, no matter what.
Jews are Hasidic. In fact, Hasidics make up only 5% of the total Jewish population. There are 3 other movements.
I think he moved to Israel
Reform,
recently. Yeah,
Conservative,
he moved to
and
Israel
Orthodox.
after. No, he didn't pass away. He moved to Israel.
Can be found scattered around New York City.
He finally left.
I started my adventure by popping into a Jewish restaurant in Washington Heights, Manhattan, which is a local hangout spot for modern Orthodox teenagers studying Torah at the well-known Yeshiva University. Is it mostly Jews that come here?
Mostly, yeah. We have a bunch of teachers and people from around the neighborhood that come also, and some regulars. These chicken shawarma.
The best part is that he hated the only other Jewish guy. Yes, and they contested, not dissimilar to the Hasidic Jewish dispute that we're seeing about who actually owns the Chabad house. There was the last synagogue in Afghanistan that they were disputing over, and one of the fun parts is that so Zebulon was arrested by the Taliban and was put in prison, and then they released him from prison because he fucking annoyed everyone. He like constantly duked it out with everybody, and then they literally had to release him from prison, according to the documentaries and news articles written about him. It was awesome. He's the GOAT. Anyway, let's continue.
It's homemade. We make it every day with fresh chicken. We cut up ourselves the chicken, spice it up, stack it,
That looks so
and cook
good.
it. Yeah. It's almost
Are you
caramelized.
from Israel or New
No, I'm
York?
from France. I grew up in France.
I thought I heard something.
Accent? Yeah.
You're French Jew.
Yeah.
I don't meet that many French Jews.
Yeah, I know. My workers are the best. Literally, like, really amazing workers.
You speak like you're Israeli.
Yeah, French guy wearing a Golan Heights shirt, saying, "This is my shawarma."
I know.
It's a little bit of the French mixed in there.
After all these years working in the Israeli restaurant, I think it literally imprinted me with the Israeli accent. From
Oh, the takeaway is called Golan Heights.
I've never met a Chilean Jew in my entire life. Do you feel like you belong here, like with the Jews and the community?
I believe the community here is amazing. I believe that all Jews belong in Israel.
It's not just a shirt. That's the name of the restaurant. Oh, nice.
That is pretty tasty. Everything in a shawarma that I would ever possibly want, including eggplant, is in here. Very.
Went to this place when I asked for the Mediterranean salad on my wrap. They really corrected me to, "Do you mean Israeli salad?"
Flavorful, very delicious.
Oh, in that building over there.
A lot of French Jews are of Sephardic Algerian origin, so yes, shawarma is an actual native dish for him. Yeah, except like, no, why did you say this then? Like, okay, he's a Sephardic Algerian origin. It's not a French dish. It's an Algerian dish. There you go. That's my point. This is the whole point that I make all the time. Okay? Arab Jews and MENA Jews are MENA and Arab. Okay? They're not Jews as a separate thing. This inherently comes from, and a lot of people repeat this without recognizing that, like, there is an inherent bias in it. Like, of course, Judaism being an ethno-religion implies that there are a shit ton of different cuisines from all around the world, right? From all around the world. It's just that to slap it as like, this is Israeli cuisine is what is incorrect about it. Do you know what I mean? or saying that this is Jewish cuisine is like a weird thing to say about it, because it's not supposed to be Israeli or Jewish cuisine. It's whatever wherever the Jewish person is coming from. Like, that is where it originates from. Not that it fucking matters. Shawarma is not Algerian. Yeah, I know. I'm just... Shawarma is not Algerian or North African. Yes. Shawarma is not Turkish either. No. Shawarma is the I guess, what is the origin of shawarma? I would say like Iraq, maybe. Döner is the Turkish version of that. And it's the best. Or Syrian is the Levant. It's from the Levant, okay? Anyway, let's continue.
That's like the big yeshiva, and you have like hundreds of kids studying together.
Really? Tell me about this community.
Shawarma is a Turkish word? No, it's not.
This is what we call a modern Orthodox Jewish neighborhood. A little more, takes like modern inventions and technology and incorporates it into Jewish life, as opposed to Hasidic neighborhood, which may not do so.
What do you think about Hasidic neighborhoods?
They're not like any more Jewish than us. They're not any less Jewish. We're all Jews, and like the way like their teachings are.
Oh,
are amazing,
Chevirme.
like it's not really for everyone.
Oh, really? Wait, shawarma comes from Chevirme? Wait, no fucking way. Hold up. No, I think you guys are doing. I think Turks are fucking doing the classic everything is Turkish shit. Oh my god! Oh my god! It is Turkish. Oh my god. Yo, get fucked, everybody in the chat. I thought döner was like specifically Turkish, and I didn't realize that. I thought that like, oh my god, this entire time people were like, shawarma's not a Turkish word. And I was like fucking eating that shit up. Bro, all the fucking, oh my god, all the Syrians and the Arabs in the chat, dude, get fucking wrecked. Originated in the Levant region of the Arab world during the Ottoman Empire, consisting of meat cut into thin slices stacked into an inverted cone. Döner was invented in Berlin, no offshoot of shawarma. Bro, if you fucking say this in Turkey, they will put you in a cannon and launch you into space. Are you out of your fucking mind? Döner was invented in Berlin? Are you insane? No, motherfucker, Döner was not invented in Berlin. No. Turks that immigrated into Germany brought döner with them, and it became like a beloved German dish as well. That is the most insane thing. It's like thinking fucking Indian food was invented in England or something. We've invented curry, mate. What you fucking mean? I know. Chicken tikka masala. I know. Turks visited Berlin in 1997 and brought döner back to Istanbul. That's so funny. Mexicans invented pastor. The fuck? No, that's not true either. This, I'm almost certain this as a concept originated in the Levant region, right, under the Ottoman Empire, inevitably moved over to Latin America. Shawarma is an Arabic rendering of Ottoman Turkish çevirme, referring to the turning, rotisserie. But yeah, I think like al pastor is also, it goes back to the Mexicans or Turks thing that I say all the time, which is real. Yeah, see? The origins of al pastor can be traced back to Middle Eastern cuisine. In the 19th century, Lebanese immigrants brought the technique of spit roasting meat with them to Mexico. There you go. Yeah. I've been on an Erasmus trip last year, and Turks and Syrians who were on that trip argued the whole time about food, both claiming they invented it. Yeah, this is a age-old tale. I do think it's funny that there's like anyone in the chat that tries to fucking claim that Germany invented it, though. Okay. In Israel, most shawarma is made with dark meat turkey, commonly served in tahin sauce instead of yogurt for kashrut reasons. It is often garnished with diced tomatoes, cucumbers, onions, pickled vegetables, hummus, tahini sauce, sumac. Like, I reluctantly will admit, okay, there is a new spot that I found in Los Angeles, okay, is in Studio City, straight up. And it's an Israeli, I think it's an Israeli spot, okay? And it's actually kind of fire, okay? Like, I think that cultural cross-pollination, it can be good, okay? I love tahini sauce. Not tahini sauce, sorry. And this place, Avi Q, is actually fire. Okay? is actually fire. My favorite restaurants in Los Angeles are also run, owned, and operated by an Israeli couple, Bavel, not Tahin. Tahin is the Mexican spice blend. Listen, in Turkish, it's tahin. So that's why tahini is tahin. Right? Isn't it? Bavel, Bestia, Safi's, all owned by the same Israeli couple. And it's gas. Bavel is incredible. And so is Safi's, really. Safi's has some of the best donut I've had in Los Angeles. Pop-up specialist IBQ has gone legit in a Studio City strip mall selling shaved Wagyu pita sandwiches and more. I mean, it's pretty good. You know, fair is fair. I'll say it. So, you know, I'm not going to fucking act like that's not the case. But, you know, shawarma, invented by the Turks. Just saying.
But the people who it's for, like, it worked for a lot of people for thousands and thousands of years. So it's a really beautiful thing.
I happen to be Chabad.
It's different.
Chabad is a totally, and they're different Hasidic groups.
But you guys have no beef with each other. It's all Judaism.
They tend to be a little bit more insular, and for their reasons. From their religious perspective, they're trying to protect, you know, what they're doing, and they don't want the...
I mean, this guy's dripped out the fucking wazoo, bro. This is what I'm saying. It's like, come on, dog. He's dressed up like a Peaky Blinder, you know what I mean? I mean, it's fire.
To necessarily influence them. I mean, there have been conflicts, I'm not going to lie.
But like you wouldn't go there and they wouldn't come here, put it that way.
Yeshiva University is a little bit controversial in that sense. Like,
Okay.
Satmar Chassid would not hold of Yeshiva University. They don't go to secular college. They don't go to secular university.
It's really cool to see Hebrew writing all over the walls. Like, I can actually sound it out, but I don't know what it means. Now that I've got a good feel for the modern Orthodox life in Manhattan, I'm hopping in a cab to the ultra-conservative Hasidic community in Brooklyn called South Williamsburg. Unlike other Jewish communities, most Hasidics rarely, if ever, leave the boundaries of their district.
Ottomans aren't only Turks, you ignorant Turk. Shut the fuck up, bitch.
Everything from schools, hospitals, and supermarkets to hardware stores, internet cafes, and bookstores are all found within walking distance. It is very much a bubble, and it's intimidating to enter because A, I'm not Hasidic, and B, I'll be meeting up with Abby Stein, who comes from Williamsburg but was canceled by her parents and her family for coming out as transgender.
I was the first person who was raised in a Hasidic community in the 250 years of the Hasidic community's existence.
This guy's
to have
sick.
come out publicly. The worst thing that happened to me...
Like, I thought this guy, like, this seems like he's...
When I've come back here, has been people screaming.
Like...
And once people threw eggs.
Like, did he say canceled? Canceled is an interesting word for it. I mean, still, like, humanizing a former Hasidic trans Jewish person is, like, kind of cool that, like, you don't see YouTubers taking that initiative ever. You know what I mean? Like, think about that. Think about a YouTuber that you got Tyler Oliveira on the one hand, okay? You got Tyler Oliveira on the one hand, and then you got a guy like Drubinsky on the other hand, who's like pretty fucking, who I mean, this is like incredibly open-minded.
Threw an egg
at you. I'm going in with an open mind and a willingness to learn more about this unique...
Drew has come a long way. I'm not going to lie. I filmed him in 4 countries, and he's a good dude, just not very informed on a lot of stuff, surprisingly.
...culture, while being extra careful on how I use my camera.
Hi.
Hi. How are you?
I'm
good to meet you. Finally. You grew up like here.
He loves Turkey. It's in his top 10 countries. He's been to every country, and it's in his top 10. Nice.
Live about 10 minutes walking from here.
As we cross the border into Hasidic Williamsburg from the hipster part of town, I'm noticing the people's outfits and street signs immediately starting to change. It's literally separated by a single street, Broadway, with the subway screeching right above our heads.
Clearly it's pouring rain outside. We're doing our best right now.
So yeah, so this is literally, Broadway was always the border, and that's very important. We're like on it right now, and you'll see in a minute. There's like 2 blocks maybe.
Hassan can't beat the allegations? What? What allegations? What are you saying?
That are kind of like a mix. This is Yiddish. It looks like Hebrew, but it's Yiddish.
Yeah, it looks like Hebrew.
Almost everyone here speaks Yiddish at home. But this is a hat store, so they sell Hasidic hats.
The furry hats are just one of the many ways that
Dude,
Hasidic
the furry
men
hats are
stand out
fire.
from the rest of us.
Like, dude, listen. Listen, real recognize real. This shit is drip, okay? is dripped out the motherfucking wazoo. Okay, it goes hard. It goes so hard. That's all I'm saying. It's just it goes hard. Sometimes there is Hasidic Jews have to bring it with them in a box, right? Too, like there's like a special box for it, not to get it like fucked up. If you ever take the hat off, I've seen that. Like there's like a hat box. Celine hat. Drip is crazy. Drip. No, every part of this is sick. They are called streimels, not furry hats. I'm not Hasidic, but if I recall correctly, it's made out of fox fur. It's fire. Durag and streimel stream when? At both at the same time.
Another way is by having payas, or long hair on the side of their heads. Women, on the other hand, dress very conservative.
Like, this is kind of sick, right? What do I mean by this? It's like showing your, like the Mormons have the special underwear, right? Like that you wear in temples, which is cool, but then like you don't get to showcase it. Whereas I feel like the more leveled up you are, it's like armor. The more leveled up you are in religion, the more you show your armor, which I think is sick. You know what I mean? This is like, yo, this is plus 10 faith. Like, I have a fur hat that's plus 10 faith. You don't have a fur hat. You only have the regular hat. You haven't upgraded. You know what I mean? It's not cosmetic. It's not. Many people think like, oh, this is just cosmetic. Like, no, this is not pay to win. You have to literally level up your religious points to be able to get the specific armor. I'm just saying, it's fire. It is exactly like a video game. They're playing Fashion Souls. Yeah, no, they're doing Faith Max build for sure. Yeah, you wear it everywhere. As soon as you get clouded, go on a mission or get married, you never take it off. Exactly. It also shows you fuck. That's the other thing. Like, dude, you see a Hasidic Jewish guy without the fur hat? That means he don't fuck. Because you get that when you fuck. So it literally is just a flex on the haters, okay? Think about that. It's literally a permanent flex. It's like, yeah, you can spot me from a mile away, dog. I fuck. Look at my hat that was made out of fox fur. There's like 10 grand. Okay? Yeah. It's like you're flexing on the haters and you're flexing on the little virgins in the fucking community when they're like, oh, I don't have a wife yet. And it's like, yeah, bitch, you don't. I do. Okay? What happened in No Swearing 2024? Okay, I'm just saying, like, I don't know how else to describe this situation. Okay? So, bro, my hat was $600 that I got for starting Hasidic Rabbi College from my Rav. Shit was fire, not fuzzy. See, that's what I mean. You got a straw hat. Not a straw hat, but, not a fuzzy hat. It's cool. Okay, Mugiwara. Yeah, I mean, look, every community has a signifier. Okay? Like in this community, you can show how many months you avoided the top of the hour ad break with a subscription badge, right? Like this guy, or this lady, sorry. 6-month subscriber, 7-month subscriber, showing off the badge. Kev Rhino, 3.5-year subscriber. Tier 2 for 44 months. Like these are different amenities that every community has, right? At the top of the hour, there's a 3-minute ad break, and many ad break avoiders get to showcase how long they've been avoiding the ad breaks at the top of the hour, how long they've been subscribing at the top of the hour, right? With the sub badge. Like everybody's got a different way of flexing on the haters is what I mean. Here's a 3-minute ad break right now. By the way, you can also avoid the ad break by subscribing for $5 or for free with the Twitch Prime or by getting gifted a sub if you're lucky. All right, let's continue.
Conservatively, always covering their shoulders and knees, and they also wear wigs to protect the public from seeing their true identity. Women are also seen on the streets taking care of their kids, of which having 10 or more is considered normal.
They reproduce a lot. There's a lot of kids in each family, so you can see the pediatrics office right there. The line is so long for kids to go see a doctor. If I owned a business here, I would open up a stroller shop.
I have 12 siblings. That's very common here. People have huge families.
Wow.
We get married extremely young. I was married at 18.
Marriage in Hasidic families is of utmost importance. It typically happens at a very young age and involves the entire community. And believe me, the ceremonies are pretty awesome.
That's crazy.
One of my favorite things about being Jewish is the food.
See, bro, you didn't fuck. You didn't fuck for the fuck hat. Sorry.
And Abby is eager to take me to one of her favorite childhood restaurants called
Come on, Drew.
It's important to know that all food around here is kosher, which is a strict eating code that Hasidic, Orthodox, and many other Jews follow. It's kind of similar to halal food for Muslims, in that animals must be slaughtered a certain way to be able to eat them. All forms of pork are forbidden, and you cannot mix meat and dairy. In the 1930s, there were over 1,500 kosher delis in New York, but nowadays that number has dwindled down to about 20 as the Jews have spread around America. Gottlieb's has been a lifeline for Williamsburg Hasidic community since opening its doors 62 years ago, and the cuisine is all derived from Eastern Europe.
All right,
no cheeseburger.
Should I show you?
Yeah,
Give you a
go ahead.
rundown?
Go
Yeah,
ahead.
bro, you can't fucking drown. Okay, you cannot drown the, what is it, like, what's the term for it in kosher? You cannot drown the baby in the mother's milk or something. That's why you can't mix dairy and meat, which is probably one of the biggest L's. Like, I think kosher, halal, not having pork is kind of an L because there's no bacon, no gabagool, none of the fucking Italian meats, okay? But with kosher, you can't, like, you also can't do the mixing of the dairy and the meat, and I feel like that's a major L.
Give me a rundown.
Rice, potatoes, mashed potatoes. Very common, very Eastern European, as you can see.
It is
here.
very Eastern European.
There's two kinds of goulash. You got sesame chicken, that's very popular with that. So that's actually one of my favorite things here. This is also amazing.
Ooh.
Stuffed cabbage is one of my favorite things as a child. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You get 6 kinds of kugels just here, and it's not even Friday.
I'm into
Chicken
everything,
nuggets,
so how?
it's all amazing.
You want to just order
Oh,
for
and then
me?
there's soups.
Yeah, I want to see the soup. Oh my God, it's a lot of soups, my friend.
Oh, yeah, there's a lot. That's my favorite. Those are the noodles, amazing. It's not so.
Boiling a kid in its mother's milk. Damn, I got it right. Dude, I'm with it. I know my shit.
Everything in it. Then there's something over here. Chicken gizzards.
What's your favorite?
All of them.
He's being very nice.
Can I ask you a question about payas? Have you had that your whole life?
Yeah, of course. Since I was 3.
Since you were 3?
Yes.
But for you, it's been normal your whole life?
Of course. And for my kids as well. And I have my 8th boy. I'm gonna make payas now on Sukkot, before Sukkot.
Your 8th boy?
8th boy.
How many boys do you have?
I have 8 boys.
And girls?
1 girl.
Are you always this busy?
I'm always busy, but I'm missing one guy. Is making a wedding tonight. One of my guys. And one of my guys on vacation. So.
Hello,
How are you?
Got a picture from me?
I would love to, yeah. What's your name?
My name is A.B. Baby.
Where are you from?
I'm a Willie boy.
Really?
Yeah.
Do you like this restaurant?
Of course. Who doesn't like this restaurant? This community is a wonderful community because there's a lot of nice people here. Look at Yitzchak. Take a look, Yitzchak. Take a look, Yitzchak. Take a look, Menashe.
Yeah, he likes cameras.
Could you find such a guy like him?
So life is good here?
Life is great, especially when I meet you.
Oh, I appreciate that. Thank you so much.
These two, they're
Oh,
kids.
they're
When he
kids.
said that,
Bro, that's fire. Dude, come on. Dude, you can't beat that. Like it's not just, you don't just have the hat, you have to protect the hat. Are you kidding me? Come on, bro. He's got a rain cap on the hat, dog.
bad guys.
what word?
Mechitzen means that their kids are married to each other. As a community, you're quite
Wait.
close.
Oh.
Longer than many years. What is this?
Wow.
You know what it is?
It's all in Hebrew. It's a Torah.
Okay, it's the blessings you make after eating. I think we're both just getting, the two
Hi.
of us just put it down.
Matzo ball soup? I haven't had
Oh,
matzo
the
ball
soup
soup
is
in a
amazing.
long time.
Well, if you come on Friday, I will make
It's
some.
also like a rainy day, so it's even
It's
even
perfect.
better.
It's like a fall day.
Feels like a home cooked meal. This looks extremely Eastern European, almost like you would find in Ukraine or Poland. Steaming off the top right there.
No, not incest, like fucking families. Like different families marrying into one another. In-laws.
It's filled with
chat.
meat, cabbage, onions. It's
My grandmother was from Jerusalem. She put rice in it as well.
Oh yeah, there is rice in there.
Oh, there's right there.
It's so good, and it's pretty filling too because it has rice and it's like a soup.
It has a starch and a protein.
It's like a soup and a dumpling. What is this one?
That's sesame chicken.
Okay.
I'll have some of that as well.
Yeah, please dig in. This is like Asian style, no?
I was about to say that's gotta be the deep cultural ties that the Jewish community has to Chinese food, I assume, right?
Very interesting. So I have learned recently that there's a lot of overlap between Hasidic food and Asian food. And I think the reason for that is actually food developed out of poverty. And they made use, that's why you
Polish?
get
Wait, really?
very popular.
Chicken hearts. They eat that in the Philippines.
This is the kolchlish because it's very similar to gnocchi, kind of like the pasta, but it doesn't really have a.
It's not cheese. It's like.
There's nothing dairy here. Oh, I should have pointed out.
Oh yeah.
There's absolutely nothing dairy here. You can't mix.
So this is
a meat restaurant.
This is a typical cuisine of Williamsburg.
Yeah, meat.
Well, this is a fantastic meal. Thank you for taking me here. No. I'm concluding this part of the video. Don't worry, it's all gonna get eaten. She's a Jewish mother. Let's eat.
The only real way to insult me is by not eating food.
This is so fucking cozy, dude. Holy shit.
Oh, sure.
Like having a big non-political or apolitical YouTuber be this cozy and this humanizing of a trans person is huge. Oh my God. This guy's awesome. Like straight up. Is this Tyler Oliveira? No, fuck no. It's not Tyler Oliveira.
Zagazin.
Oh, I think it's a Dankeschön.
Be well.
Be well.
Be well, Zagazin.
Zagazin. As soon as I walked outside the door to that restaurant, I could start to feel the culture sinking in as Abby and I walked the streets. All eyes were on us, and I felt a lot of pressure to keep my camera down because it's clear that people here do not want to be filmed.
Don't record this.
Okay. So I'm gonna ask some people on the street right now if they want to be interviewed. Hi. Thank you. Okay, no problem. Thank you. The only people who accepted to be interviewed were non-Jews, and it was pretty interesting to hear their perspectives on the Hasidics.
If there wasn't here, it would be another ghetto. But I feel the tension between us all my life. I went to school here, but it's peaceful. If it wasn't, if they weren't here, then it would be an extension of the ghetto.
How you doing? Hey, come here for a second. What do you think about this community?
I don't consider this to be a religion. I consider this to be a culture. I've been working for them for almost 17 years. And every community, there's bad and good things. Hey, nobody's perfect. The only perfect is the one above. So
I don't want to be a party pooper, but if he doesn't mention what women have to go through, then it's pretty incomplete. I suspect that there will be that element to it as well.
Hey, respect, man, respect. Nice to meet you. I'm feeling like this tension building. The stakes are high. You know, Abby can't be seen. I can't be seen.
I can't be seen.
Well,
then people just gonna look.
Can I shoot from the window from the street?
Well, technically, legally, they can't stop you. So
I know.
Yes, you can.
Why do many modern New York Jewish people really dislike the Hasids? I mean, it's most likely because it's not dissimilar. It's not dissimilar to how like some of the more fundy Muslims behave. Like globally online, the Islamic, like the Muslim Twitter will globally dunk on like UK Muslims, for example, because there's like a lot of UK Muslims are just like kind of embarrassing. Like not all, obviously, but some UK Muslims are a little embarrassing in the way that they are super fundamentalists. So it's just it's like that, I think, I assume. I used to live next to a large Hasid population in Baltimore. They don't speak to outsiders in a kind of rude way to see why people don't like them / the vibes. Yeah. I've met Wahhabis that were more progressive than the weirdo Salafist English Muslims. Yeah, there's like a lot of there's a lot of like weird vibes and attitudes. Big reason is that they're also anti-vaxxers. There are not infrequently large measles outbreaks every few years. Yeah, that's how I found out about Jacob Kornbluh originally, who was like he's like an Orthodox reporter who would report on a lot of like the you know anti-vaxxer stuff that they were doing in the Hasidic community. Like they literally surrounded his house. They were like trying to fucking kill him and shit. It was crazy. There's like a Hasidic Andrew Breitbart, basically, who was like leading a Hasidic mob to surround his apartment. It was wild. Dude, COVID was wild. They cause problems in the city. They're obnoxious to anything, and they love Trump. They are conservatives. Yeah, they're conservative. Like they're fundamentalist conservative for the most part. That's what it is. It's just fundy shit.
This is a cinema transferred into a synagogue. Almost
like they while out, you know what I mean? Is Libs a TikTok Hasid? She's Orthodox.
Everything about this community fascinates me,
Chabad.
but nothing more than their restrictions to use the internet.
It's a gathering to be safe from all the dangers of technology.
So anti-internet.
Anti-technology, which is, yeah, that's pseudonym for the internet.
This place is called Cubicles, and it's literally kosher internet. So basically,
you go in, you pay per hour, or half hour, whatever.
like an internet cafe in other
yes,
countries.
an internet cafe, and you get filtered or / kosher version of the internet.
So it's like North Korea.
Yeah, pretty much.
I'm gonna go in.
Try to go in.
Would you hold this? I was not wanted in there. Let's go.
What did they tell you?
No, they just saw my camera. They're like, what are you filming? Let's go. I'm fully Jewish. I had bar mitzvah, everything. Last name is very Jewish, but I'm not welcomed in this community, which is very fascinating.
I was told as a child that in school by my teachers that walking into a Reformed temple is worse than going into a church. And you have to
Dude, that's awesome. That's so sick. That's see, there you go. There's your answer for the chatter who was watching. Like, why do a lot of like secular or Reformed Jews in New York get annoyed with the Hasidic community? Well, there it is.
Going into a church is a horrible thing.
Yeah.
Going into a Reformed temple is even worse.
It's so interesting that all these shops are mostly food.
You will see later a lot of children's stuff.
Yeah.
A lot of children, a huge percentage of the community of children.
Yeah, because there's so many kids. You said people have 10, 15 kids.
My parents have 13 kids, and it's on the bigger end, but it's not crazy large.
13 is not crazy to you? You have 10 grandkids, and you're not even that old.
No, you don't have to be old to get married at 18. You have a child every year. By the time you are 38, your son is already getting.
It should be said that not all Orthodox Jews are the same. The New York community is extremely isolationist. Other places are less so. Yeah. I would say that in my experience, like Lakewood, New Jersey, and this specific Hasidic community is significantly more insular than the, well, I guess it's not even like Hasidic, but the Orthodox communities in Los Angeles. The Orthodox Jewish communities in Los Angeles are like is much more, is much less isolated.
Getting married. When you're 40, he has 2 kids and two grandkids.
So it's normal to have 20 grandkids.
20 is a joke. My father has hundreds.
We are now entering the heart of Hasidic Williamsburg.
Okay, let me rephrase. We've been at the heart the whole time, but until now we were in a part that also had government housing.
Okay.
So it ends up being a lot of people who are not Hasidic. From the BQE until Flushing Avenue, 100% of the people living here are Hasidic people.
This way.
This is a sofer. They write the Torah scrolls by hand.
Oh, cool. The Torah is a compilation of the first 5 books of the Hebrew Bible, and it's written in a long scroll that all Jewish temples or synagogues have inside them. The Torah represents the totality of Jewish teaching, culture, and practice as instructed by God. When all Jewish people turn 13 years old, boys or girls, they have something called a bar or a bat mitzvah, which is a ceremony where they read a verse in the Torah to officially become an adult and be held accountable for their own actions. My bar mitzvah was on June 12, 2004, and it was a day that I'll never forget. You have a lot of nostalgia here.
I lived here my whole life.
How do you feel like being here right now?
It's very weird for me actually because I grew up here. It's a fact. I spent the first 20 years of my life here, but at the same time, I've been out for a long time. I left for many reasons, and ultimately, I came out to my dad with the help of a rabbi and really spent 2 hours trying to talk to my dad in the most respectful and religious way. And his reaction was first to say something extremely sexist of like, why would you do that? Women are worth so much less than men, which is something that is...
Wow.
And then said he was never going to talk to me again, and he hasn't. We're going to turn out to a block that I've not been on for 10 years.
Okay.
And there's 2 very interesting things for me in there. There's the synagogue that...
Sofers have one of the hardest jobs in the world. Most of them have the entire Torah memorized, and they have to write the entire thing with natural ink and feather as a quill. Also, if they mess up once, they have to start all over. It's an insane job. That is crazy. Jesus Christ.
Where my dad is the rabbi, the synagogue that is run by my dad. And then a bit further down, there's a synagogue run by my uncle, which was also the synagogue affiliated with a elementary school.
Is this the block?
This is the block.
So your dad's synagogue is on...
Ultra-Orthodox do not do bat mitzvah, only bar mitzvah? Okay.
This block.
It's right here.
Oh,
This
it's right here.
Right
This.
here. This.
You're not comfortable.
And you have to bury the mess ups, like people can't just throw them out.
Okay, this is Abby's dad's synagogue right here. I'm trying not gonna stay here very long, but I respect you for taking me here. That's bizarre.
So this is a big synagogue. The one
Okay.
coming up.
Yep.
So this is now the rabbi of this community. Now is my uncle.
Are you comfortable?
No, I'm not. I'm just walking by, and
Okay.
that's about it.
Wow, these synagogues are intense. I never thought I would feel intimidated by my own religion. It's such a weird feeling.
So my family doesn't wear any wigs at all. So all my sisters and my mom and all my aunts and everyone, they shave their hair and then cover their heads with just a scarf.
Wigs. Oh.
No, no wigs. Wigs are too much.
They shave their head.
Shave
bald.
Shave bald on a 000. That's the other part that I think is very important for you to realize. There are some beautiful parts, but I think it all gets wiped away by the fact that people can't choose. For people who want to choose this way of life, I will fight for their right to choose this way of life,
Right.
if that's what they want. But
Right.
the reality is that most people don't have a choice. It's your whole life.
Why is there no Israeli flags?
They're anti-Israel. They're extremely anti-Israel, I was trying to say. This whole community is extremely anti-Israel.
I was shocked to.
I told you, like, the Orthodox community, the Orthodox community goes in either direction. The one thing that they align on is like being super conservative. Okay, this is something that I've stressed before. Like, it was a bit of, in anti-Zionist circles, it was a bit of a faux pas to point to the Neturei Karta, at least in like the last 10 years, I would say. Less so now because of like how wild sometimes Neturei Karta and other sects get, specifically on their anti-Israel commentary. But overall, like, some of the ultra-Orthodox Jews are very anti-Israel because they believe that the accurate interpretation of the Torah implies that Jews are a nation. Jews are not supposed to have a nation state until the Messiah comes back. And then there are, of course, other ultra-Orthodox Jews that are super pro-Israel. The tunnel guys are on our side? No, I don't know. I don't know which sect it is.
To learn that some Hasidics have mixed feelings about Israel. I mean, remember the Yeshiva University student that I just met at the Israeli Grill?
I believe.
Yeah, it goes either way. In Israel, there's a massive ultra-Orthodox Zionist community, and in the next 40 years, they're predicted to constitute most of the population because their families are so large. Yeah, but then there's also an ultra-Orthodox anti-Zionist. Like some of the ultra-Orthodox Jews in Israel also are the ones that live in Jerusalem that constantly duke it out with the fucking cops that are like pro-Palestinian and anti-Zionist. And those are the dudes who always fucking duke it out with the IDF and the Israeli police regularly. Like whenever you see a bunch of ultra-Orthodox Jews in Jerusalem getting beat up by cops, they're the ones who are super anti-Israel, right? But then you also have the ultra-Orthodox Zionist Jews who are also seen as like weirdly contentious. They have a weirdly contentious relationship because, like, again, Israel as it stands currently, the Israeli Jewish population is very secular. They're very they're progressive, I guess, in many different respects, whereas the ultra-Orthodox Zionists are not. So they not only are Zionists, they also comprise of like the settler population, and on top of that, don't serve for religious, don't even serve in the IDF because of the religious exemption that they get. So it's like it's like frowned upon almost. Like there is definitely, like obviously, as we've talked about before, as far as like Zionism goes inside of Israel, inside of the Israeli Jewish population, the overwhelming majority of Israeli Jews are obviously pro-Israel's expansion or Israel dealing with Hamas or dealing with Palestinians across the board. But there are some deviations. There are some distinct features within Zionism in Israel where, a lot of people obviously don't give a shit about like leveling Gaza, as we have seen from the polls. But then there also are like, but we still want to do gay stuff, for example. and don't like how religious conservatism is basically taking over the government, without recognizing that the religious conservatism can only take over the government because of the reactionary attitudes that the overwhelming majority of Israelis have towards Israeli Jews, specifically have towards the Palestinian population. And beyond that, like I said, it's just like, it's seen as like hypocritical that the Haredi Jews like don't serve in the IDF, which is seen as also, again, a secular institution, while simultaneously taking up a lot of the resources of the IDF by engaging in like settlement expansion and constantly like making life living hell for the West Bank Palestinians. And there are definitely, I would say, liberal Zionists or some Zionists in Israel amongst the Israeli Jewish population that consider the West Bank expansion to be gross and disgusting and see those guys as like psychos. They even, as far as I've seen, have a very funny way of shitting on those like expansionist settler Jews in West Bank, where they call them Christians. Like that's something that I've seen when they talk about some of the I guess Messianic Jews, or some of the Jews that are invested in like settler expansion, like the settler Jews. They call them Christian.
That all Jews belong in Israel.
But Abby is telling me that the anti-Zionist Hasidics are from the Satmar sect, who make up the majority of South Williamsburg. Zionism is a movement for the development and protection of Israel. The Satmars believe that establishing a Jewish state before the arrival of the Messiah is a violation of Jewish law. When will the Messiah come? Who knows? But until then, you will not see a single Israeli flag on these streets.
We all pray every day that we should return to Israel, but a holy one, like one that is we want to see divine power, not some, just tanks and missiles.
There's a school bus with Hebrew writing on it that's parked right in front of an actual school. No English, just Hebrew. Look at that security. That looks like I'm in a Islamic country and there's a checkpoint.
Security and, well, that's all Jewish place in New York.
Yeah, because
that's gone up since.
Chabad schools across the world do not celebrate Israel's Independence Day. They are adamantly opposed to the national anthem, Hatikva. Even waving an Israeli flag or having one in a Chabad center is frowned upon.
Of life since Pittsburgh, yeah. That's since the Pittsburgh shooting. Starting your eyes means not looking at people who are not charismatic.
Oh, it's not just the idea of most of the ultra-Orthodox population doesn't work generally, which creates some political tension between secular and religious groups as far as welfare goes. There's an ultra-Orthodox conservative parties like the Shahs that are also weirdly fight for lefty economic reforms like raising the minimum wage. Yes, that is another part that I forgot. Like, they see the ultra-Orthodox population as like welfare queens as well. Like they look at the rest of the Israeli society they see themselves as like way more progressive and look at the ultra-Orthodox community as like as a burden, as an economic burden. That they like, why are we taking care of them? Why are we funding the settlements? And why are we defending the settlements? While simultaneously, like, obviously not having that big of a problem with the IDF, loving the IDF as a secular institution that they hail as, like, the defenders of Israel because they're Zionists, they simultaneously... It's the land of contradictions. I don't know how else to describe it, other than the very same contradictions that you see in American politics, you very much see in Israeli politics as well. It's because when left unexamined, settler colonialism will inevitably lead to such contradictions that you hold on to inside of you without even recognizing that these two ideas don't go along with one another. And then before you know it, you're like, how the fuck did this become a right-wing shithole? And that's exactly what is going on in America. And of course, in America's extension, Israel. That's it. That's why it's like so similar in commentary, because you're like, on the one hand, you're like, oh, I want to do gay shit and I want to like talk about Tel Aviv as like a place where, the #1 job is being a DJ and doing ketamine and having gay sex. But then also at the same time, I kind of want to do ethnic cleansing in Gaza. You know what I mean? And you can't have those two ideas in the same fucking mind. Like you can't be like, I'm actually such a progressive guy, but also simultaneously I think like ethnic cleansing is tight. That's happening like a mile out from where I live. You know what I mean? The difference, of course, is that I think in the United States of America, at least, like, there is a more prominent, I don't know. There's a more prominent like critique of American imperialism amongst like the left than there is in Israel. Also, the Haredi community is growing insanely fast compared to secular Jews. It's families with 10 kids versus families with 2 to 3 kids. They don't serve. They get money to study in shul, basically, and this is what will become a growing problem. It's like the Israeli version of the migrant scare in Europe. They do the same thing with Holocaust survivors. They look down on them, and a bunch of them are so poor they have to go and beg for expired food at night. Yeah, I did not know that as well. Yeah, that like I had no idea that the Holocaust survivors in Israel were treated so poorly. What is this? svpberlin.org. Okay, well, Elent News, you sent me a German article. I don't know about that. It's in English. A culture war is being waged in Israel over the identity of the state, its guiding principles of relationship between religion and the state, and generally over the question of what it means to be Jewish in the Jewish state. The ultra-Orthodox community of Haredim are pitted against the rest of the Israeli population. The former has tripled in size from 4 to 12%. Yeah, let me tell you something, okay? Let me tell you something. To all the supposedly progressive Israeli Jews out there who like think, you know, we gotta keep doing the bombing campaign, okay? Guess what, dude? The more you continue with hyper nationalism, the more the Haredim will inevitably take over and take away all of the nice little civil liberties that you thought you had, that you took for granted. And it's gonna happen. Okay? It's gonna happen. But of course, much love to the actual Israeli left, the tiny group of people in Israel that are protesting against the anti-Zionist Israeli Jews, and of course the Palestinian citizens of Israel, obviously. They see the problem, and I see them as united in the same struggle, because it is the same. You know what I mean? Like, it's like me trying to fucking describe to American hogs or even supposedly American progressives who are like, except, you know, I'm progressive, but also like America is kind of cool as the world police. Right? Those progressives who I categorize in a similar way to how supposedly progressive Zionist Jews operate in Israel. Anyway, let's continue with this video.
Not looking at non-kosher.
So they're going to help you believe something?
They're going to help you guard your eyes. No, they're going to help you with advice and ideas. They're not trying to convince you to believe. This community is not much into convincing people who don't believe to believe. It's more about people who believe, but like people who struggle, people who sometimes watch porn or like stuff like that, but they believe that it's a problem. They help you.
So they think nobody watches porn here?
No, they know that some people do, and that's exactly what this is for.
How did this community start?
Okay, so the Hasidic movement was founded by actually my direct ancestor. His name is Rabbi Israel Ben Eliezer. My father's father's mother's father's father's mother's father founded the movement. I was taught from a very young age to be very proud of it. He lived in a small village called Mezhebish in Ukraine. Okay. So the area that's now Ukraine had millions of Hasidic Jews before the Holocaust. Okay. The vast majority of them were killed by the Nazis.
So this community was born right after the war?
After the Holocaust, yes.
They came here, they settled here?
In many ways as a result of the Holocaust.
I think it's amazing how these immigrants of Holocaust survivors are still able to practice their traditions in New York, the same way that their ancestors did hundreds of years ago in Eastern Europe. Walking these streets makes me feel like I've entered into a time machine back to the 1800s. It is truly remarkable. Right now, I'm eager to step inside a synagogue and learn from the ways that Hasidics pray, but I'm out of luck in Williamsburg, where the strictest rules apply to outsiders. Abby tells me about another Hasidic district called Borough Park, where the chances of me entering a synagogue are much higher. As soon as we arrived, I saw one out of the corner of my eye, but Abby chose to hang back with the cameras, so I went in alone with only my iPhone. Or God above them.
So what we would wear, and what's most common, is this is called a 6 slice. So these are bigger, and they cover more of your head. And then like if you were considered more modern.
Hassan, you said it's anti-Semitic to say Jew own everything, but how can they afford so many child? Yeah, famously, the more children you have implies the wealthier you have. in modernity. That's why famously all of the developing nations where they're having population problems, right, are actually very poor. That's how it works. Yeah. Brother, I don't know if you know this, but like, having multiple children is almost always, both historically and certainly in developed society, in developed nations, a indication that you're not actually doing all that well. It has a direct association with poverty. Hassan, how come Aya Sophia look like this and not this?
You would get one of these, which is just 4 pieces.
That's like so funny because that's also extra funny because like people will be like, how can you say people in Gaza are being ethnically cleansed when their population has exploded? And it's like, yeah, dude, that's not, I don't know if you know this, but that's not a telltale sign of like an exactly robust and developing country, okay? Kind of the exact opposite.
Got it.
Smaller covers less.
You think it's too small?
That's perfect. Okay. He says it's perfect.
It feels right. I've worn a lot of kippas in my day.
I've never done this one, so it might take me a second, but let's see. Keep going.
Beautiful, beautiful. The shofar, everyone. How many shekels? Now do I look a little more respectable?
Now you look like modern Orthodox. Like you can pass as a modern Orthodox.
It changes everything. This changes
everything. Specifically this kind of kippah, it changes everything.
So Abby and I have discovered a ton of magazines all in Yiddish.
This is a weekly newspaper. And
That's
there's 3
sick.
of these. It's about the same
Wait,
size.
So most people don't have internet, they just use this.
Yes.
Instead.
And it's big. And then you got like, okay, so some of these are monthly magazines. Like these are monthly magazines. These are weekly. This is also something that can only exist without the internet.
Well, this looks like...
It's just photos. It's literally just photos. It's page 6.
Yiddish is an offshoot of German that was started by Ashkenazi Jews in the 9th century in Central Europe. Sadly, the language was nearly extinct
Would you blow
due
a
to the
shofar?
Holocaust,
Fuck yeah.
when 6 million Jews were murdered by Nazi Germany from 1941 to 1945. These murders were carried out in pogroms, riots, and mass shootings, as well as forced labor and gas chambers within concentration camps.
It's a wild change of pace that he just dropped into the middle of like otherwise a kind of fun video where he was just like, and here's the Holocaust.
Auschwitz, which is the saddest and darkest place that I've ever been in my life. Some 85% of all Jews killed in the Holocaust spoke Yiddish, or roughly 5 million people. And today, that number is a mere 600,000. If you ask me, it is surreal to hear Yiddish being spoken in the United States today.
This is like really common. People will just come and buy a magazine and take it home.
We used to buy like one of those newspapers several things every week, yeah.
Look at this.
I feel like, did Hasanabi see Sam Cedar saying he wants to work out with Hassan? Are you kidding me? That's incredible. I would love to do that. But also, as far as Yiddish goes, like from what I understand, this is another like weird cultural thing with the Zionist nationalism project, where like the revitalization of Hebrew was obviously it's like a phenomenal feat in linguistics, okay, in language, except it of course would be as a standalone thing, it would be seen as awesome, but it came at the cost of a lot of ethnic cleansing, which is not so awesome. However, from what I understand, it also kind of eliminated Yiddish. I don't know if it's like it goes back to the same like we don't want to be associated with Germany in any capacity attitude. I don't know if it's like seen as an extension of the same thing that we talked about before within like Zionism and the cultural forces within Zionism treating Holocaust survivors or Holocaust victims of the Holocaust as like weak, and that Israel is strong and it will never happen to Israel again. That's why Israel has to be like very militant, which is of course ahistorical and wrong and kind of gross, really. But from what I understand, it's like Yiddish is seen as not great. Like the revitalization of Hebrew came at basically a suppression of Yiddish. Hassan, this is borderline Holocaust denial. The revisionism of Yiddish mainly and obviously came from the Nazis killing most Yiddish speakers and not the Zionist project. No, obviously that played a significant role in it. But as far as I understand, there's a reason why a lot of the Yiddish schools and like a lot of the Yiddish being spoken globally now is done in America and not in Israel.
Oh, sorry. How you doing?
Obviously, the video just mentioned that. I didn't say that like.
I'm trying to figure that out.
Yeah, I mean, dude, I love that the chatter is yelling at me, but it's like considered the exhibit Palestinian Yiddish chronicles the integration of Yiddish with Arabic and its literary rise and violent suppression in pre-state Israel, but then also like, as far as I understand it, like David Ben-Gurion, who would soon become Israel's first prime minister, then spoke to the crowd in Hebrew. A comrade has just now spoken here in a grating foreign language, he declared. Ben-Gurion's shocking remark was a part of the pattern of denigration expressed by advocates of modern Hebrew within the Zionist movement during the pre-state years. It aimed to delegitimize the Yiddish language using violence, intimidation, and propaganda. A year after its establishment in 1948, the State of Israel banned Yiddish theater and periodicals under their legal powers to control material published and presented in foreign languages. Where's that? I know I'm trying to do better by not yelling at chatters, which I'm not going to, but it's a ridiculous thing to state that I am engaging in borderline Holocaust revisionism when talking about something that I've read about Zionism and its distaste and potential association with the Holocaust in and of itself. The other thing that I also mentioned specifically with Zionism and its like and its reinforcement of like being militant and being strong, like the invocation, the myth making of like being a strong and oftentimes militant nation also comes at a cost, oftentimes the cost being that there is a very weird association of like Holocaust survivors and also victims of the Holocaust that is borderline ahistorical, as though they did not resist, as though they were weak, as though they knew that they were going towards their deaths, marching towards their deaths, and just like kind of let it happen. That's the other side of the militant Zionism. It's very messed up, but it is something that I've seen. Roll the video back 10 seconds to see something funny. Wait.
How you doing?
You know what it says inside?
I'm trying to figure that out.
Anything emergency happens, people don't call 911 at all. People always call them. I memorize their number. It's 7183-871.
So it's like the
see, Shoreham search and rescue.
It's like an emergency
That's what
room.
people call. Yeah, that's what people call.
Is it like a trust issue? Like they want to be with other?
It's a mix of a lot of things. It's a bit mix of trust. It's they usually arrive faster. They don't charge.
Oh really? It's free. Okay, now I understand. Behind me there's a Hasidic mother and a Muslim mother next to each other pushing their kids on the playground. That's cool. What's it like to live in this like Hasidic community?
It's rough because it's kind of a closed community, but it's got its beauty, it's got its innocence. It's really different than the whole world, but it's really cool. I'm Hasidic.
I'm sorry,
So
dude.
yeah, it's all good. So yeah, I grew up Hasidic.
So
Why this? Because it didn't work for me, obviously. And I went on my own. I went on my own path, my own journey. But there's nothing like home. There's nothing like coming home. And
there's literally long-term community members who are, I think, former Hasidic Jews too, right? Isn't there
there's
one
a lot
in
of
here
love
right
here.
now?
It's an awesome community, but it's definitely got its rougher like parts.
Later in the day, I met up with Barry Weber, the most famous Hasidic musician who shared some pretty cool insight about his people.
So the real meaning of the word Chassid, which means someone who does more than what justice demands from you. The movement of Hasidim started off with Rabbi Yisrael Bashem, and the purpose of that is
As an ex-Hasid, I really appreciate you showing all this to chat so people can actually learn instead of either being anti-Semitic or Zionist bullshit people that think.
Just to reveal the presence of godliness into the world, instead of us always trying to find where the holiness is, you become part of that. Your body is the vessel of your soul.
The sun is getting ready to set, and Abby wants to take me to a legendary Judaica bookstore from her childhood. It is so impressive how these old-fashioned bookstores are still thriving in this day and age.
I am 99% certain.
What if this makes people more anti-Semitic? What? Bro, what do you mean? Who are you going to call Jew busters? And then you turned around and said, what if this makes people more anti-Semitic? I guess you were talking about yourself. Chatter, answer for what you said. Chatter's like, what if this makes me more anti-Semitic? Which, you know, I'm already bordering on it currently with this joke.
That's a couple got married within the last week.
So they're still getting to know each other.
You can tell by the way they're walking
Just
apart
a bit
from
of
each other.
banter. Okay, take a day off. Think about that. Rethink your
the
priorities.
Night after the night of the wedding, you're not allowed to touch for 7 days until they go to the mikveh, and it's a long story. So these are.
Yeah, it's like, yeah, I watched a YouTube video that like dives in a very like humane way into a insulated and fundamentalist religious community, and I became more anti-Semitic as a consequence of that, which, you know, I already was. I think I was joking around with the local ambulance group. I know. That's why I only give him a day off.
Children's book, all of them in Yiddish, of all kinds.
You're proud of Yiddish.
I'm very proud of Yiddish, but it's like these things are made today for people who read it.
Is this really the 21st century? CD special for $1.99? I can see through the window that the bookstore is busy and intense, and I'm debating whether or not I should go in with my camera. Luckily, the owner came outside and invited us in to learn about the books and the items that are sold here. Right now I'm in the largest bookstore here. It's fascinating. It's really beautiful in here. We have all different kinds of books, all in Hebrew and Yiddish. It's interesting because they don't have internet on their phone, so they come here to learn, to study, read books, magazines, newspapers, CDs. That's fascinating.
Morty Getz. I grew up in Borough Park. So when I grew up, this is where I spent most of my time. This was always like the book central. It's not a library by the full description of what a library is, but it serves as a sort of library for children.
How would you describe Borough Park and this specific community?
So it's a very vibrant community. It's just second and third generation post-Holocaust. So the rebirth is amazing. I think the younger generation is not as aggressive as the first generation, but the first generation felt it as an obligation to the rebirth. 6 million wiped out. They felt they have to rebuild that.
Do you know the significance of Payas?
Significance of Payas. So the commandment is to leave some here on both sides of the head. That's a biblical and Talmudical commandment. It became more of a tradition of having us remember that we're part of this community. So it became more symbolic than the biblical commandment. It became more of a symbol of a dress code.
What's it like to live here?
I love this place. Nobody ever sleeping. It's always stuff going on here.
Do you have any siblings?
Yeah, 8.
8?
Yeah.
Wow. So you come here to get all your information
Yes.
for stuff? So this is a shofar collection.
Yes.
Is this from a deer? A ram?
A ram. So this one, people from the Middle East, like Yemen, they have large ones. Ashkenazi Jews mostly have the smaller ones.
Damn, this guy's good.